Midweek preview time. Show us your tips. Daggy and Beaver with you on behalf of Pro Group Racing to look towards Warwick Farm and Sandown Racing on 11th of May 2022. Beaver, how you travelling?
Mate, I'm struggling along a bit. I've got a bit of the dreaded lurgy, not COVID, just a bit of a cold, mate, but fighting on in good Beaver style.
Keep soldiering on, mate. Well, hopefully a couple of winners tomorrow can cheer up.
Yes, let's hope so.
And get us towards, as we head towards Doomben 10,000 Day, wherever that may be by the time we get there. But we've got racing at Warwick Farm to kick us off on a heavy 9 rail in the 5 metre from the 1,000 to the winning post, 3 metre remainder. And I think it's standard Warwick Farm, I think, but may well be. Last time I was in this setup, there was no disadvantage beyond pace. And then by the end of the day, early on, I should say, and by the end of the day, you're coming down the outside. So treated a little bit that way, but we'll see how it plans out. We kick off with the 2-year-olds over the 1,400.
Just before we go any further, Dougie, I think we need to do a call out. Maybe ring the alarm for my mate Masara, who won the highway.
Alarm.
Yeah, won the highway on Saturday. Of course, I didn't tip Masara for the first time in a highway since ever, and Freedom Square got up at $7.
I don't even have one here.
That's for me. Anyway, I thought I'd just make that shout out, and you couldn't wait to message me on the day, so thanks for that message, mate.
But yeah, we actually had a half decent day. It didn't finish on the best, but we managed to come through quite well through the early stages of the day.
Yes, we did.
Most of the day. No, we did all right. So I finished in front. That's the main thing. So happy days. Hopefully a few of the punters did as well. And I believe Zaki, I was reading earlier, we'll look at the markets, is backing up into the Doomben 10,000. So we'll discuss that on Friday morning.
And as I mentioned to you, the great rider Military Mission that put the stick away, went to sleep and got knocked over.
Yeah, I know. I was on it, so thanks for reminding. I haven't seen any stewards reports on it, actually. Have you noticed anything or seen?
No, mate, I didn't want to read it because if it said anything else, I would have got angry, and I was angry enough at not finishing off the race.
No, I know. Beaten by the only other danger, as we suggested, but I did have a much better investment on that horse. But let's get to Warwick Farm. What was the other Group 1? The Sangster. Who won that? I can't even remember anymore. Snap Dancer, yeah, which was impressive and perhaps maybe obvious at the price. No, I can't say obvious at the price, but May was probably backable at the price the more I thought about it, but I had nothing on it. I assume you didn't either.
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't even have a bet in the race. Yeah, I just let it go. I just thought it was a bit too hard.
Yeah, no, fair call, but very impressive. And obviously one to follow because I think most of those mares are probably about to be put through a broodmare sale. So anyway, we'll let's talk about Warwick Farm instead and move on from Military Mission and other matters, where the 2-year-olds do kick us off over the 1,400 metres. How are we starting today here? It is a bit of a J. Mac and Waller early flavour to the card.
It certainly is, but I stuck with the favourite here. I thought its only start was a good one. Wasn't far off Resonator, which was a really good win at Canterbury a couple of weeks ago. I think it'll be improved by that and can run well again here.
Yeah, it did frank the 4, and obviously Resonator did win at Wyong as well to frank it. Does look obvious. Slow away, came home well, 1,400 metres should suit, and pretty easy to find, as the market suggests. Race 2 is the 1,300 metres, this time benchmark 68, where I'm sticking with the same, just looking at scratchings now, same combination with Democracy Manifest, off a big win at the track. Comes here, same conditions, drawn to just have the 1-1 run there, and I think will be very hard to beat from the forgotten horse in the market at the moment. Still about $13, I think, is podium for the same connections there, or for the Chris Waller connections. Did some okay stuff in the first prep, presumably the win, and it's $13 if you were looking for something away from the obvious favourite here.
Yeah, I stuck with Democracy Manifest. I think we tipped it for the last on the weekend and was scratched from that.
Yes, it was, yeah.
And kept for this. That's hopefully a good pointer. Looks a horse on the way up to me. So, yeah, I'd be happy to back it.
Race 3 is a 2,400 metres. Benchmark 72, the old midweek staying contests. Have you got anything for us?
A tricky race, but I'm going to stick with J Mac and Waller again. I'm going to have them to ride the first 3 winners. So Zebus, I thought gets to its peak fitness here. It plotted home last start quite nicely. I think this extra 500 up from the 1900 to the 2400 here suits, and it can beat the other Waller horse, Shameless Miss, who was steady last start.
I just flipped around purely because it's had the 2,400 metre start, which will count. Whacking through this was on the outside fence there, but I think we'll run well as a market suggests. Do I really want to dive into anything in this race? No, but 3 from 5 for me. Benchmark 78 over the mile. It comes up next on the card, where we see a few of these coming through the midway form. Who do you like?
Yeah, I got it down to 2. Max Schnell and Syndicato. Again, I am going to stick with the Waller McDonald's stable again here. I think it can win. So I'm going 4 from 4, their first 4, which is pretty scary. But I think had the good New Zealand form. I think its first start here was against Taxu, and I don't think it was that bad a run. Trials have been good since then. I think he can run well and looks strips fitter for this, and 1600's right up its alley.
This feels like a trap race to me, so I'm not really thrilled about it. But I've sort of found the same horse, Syndicato, on top, and resuming here some trials since, and will run well here. Max Snell is going quite well and was strong through the line last time. Bethencourt, it got to outside fence and beat Too Much Caviar, so it can win, but I'm not interested at the price right now. But like I said, it feels like a bit of a tricky one, that one to me. Benchmark 72 over the 1,000 comes up next, where I am with the market. Well, it's been backed actually, but Sichello has trialled up well for this. Gets control here and resumed with a couple of nice wins last prep. I think comes here and will run very well. Bit of a claim in the wet helps too. So it is on top for me for the Dunn stable, Beaver.
Yeah, look out. I got the same one. I thought it's trialled really well as well. Like the look of the trials, quite impressive, and comes off some pretty decent form last preparations. So, look, Sichello for me, super hard to beat from the Dunn stable, who can prime him first up.
Yeah, race 6 is benchmark 72 over the 1,200 metres. Syndicato comes out to run earlier. No, that's just gone too far. Couple of scratchings, none that directly affect the market. What are you doing?
Yeah, I thought this was a bit of a trap race myself. Some horses have got a right form here. Waller's got the top 2 and Snowden, but I've gone for one at a little bit of value, double figure odds. Liz Devano flashed home last start, first up. Come from the bleachers at Warwick Farm. I think it can do it that again here if it gets the right speed on in this race. I think 1,200 heavy track. Look out for it down the outside.
I just I couldn't bring myself to tip Liston Varna. It's Shadow. Well, going back to the 64 grade suited it and does get through the wets of their ticks. But I'm with Mirror View. The sort of looked a bit obvious here to me, where it's going quite well. Been strong, but its last 2 starts, and at least is winning, which is more than we can say about the rest of this field. Up to back to the 1,200 metre, I assume is freshened up for this, and will roll forward and be close to the speed. So happy to have that each way in a tricky race for the girls there. Race number 7 wraps up the card over the 1,400 metres. Another benchmark 72. How are you finishing today?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the favourite here from the Waterhouse stable, Rangi Toa. Really liked the way it resumed last start after coming over from New Zealand. Led, controlled the race, and then just kept kicking and kicked clear, got around the corner, went a bit wider into the better going, and fought on nice and strongly. Look, it's got the big weight, but it carried 61 last start, so hoping that does not stop it and can lead all the way.
Yeah, I've decided to do it on top too. I actually wanted to find Fine Point, the other one in the market with JMac, but I could not take any out of the trials, and has had it looks like it might have had a setback because it trialled, then had a big gap and trialled again a couple of times, and they were very, very quiet, which may be tricky stuff, but generally would want to see more. So yeah, Rangitar on top, very brave last time and gets pretty much control here. So I found the same one, which wraps up the quick look through Warwick Farm. Have you got a best in value for progretracing.com.au? Yep, just going to have to unmute you.
Oh, sorry,
There
mate.
we go. Try that again.
I'll do that again. Yeah, my best is race to number 5, Democracy Manifest. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 12, Lisden Varna.
Very good. We head down to Sandown on the hillside track there, where it is soft rail in the 5. Probably looking for running line horses, as we tend to do at Hillside throughout the winter. So we'll see how that plays out. We open the day with the lightly raced, are they 2-year-olds? My page just refreshes. It should be.
They are.
Over the 1,000 in the maiden there. And I'm really like the trials of Russian Mint. Impressive on a couple of occasions. Comes here, sets up. There is some tricky, it might be some tricky stuff here with the other Ma Eustace horse down the bottom, but I was pretty taken with this favourite, and I've got it on top. What have you made of these?
Yeah, all the first starters, but I think you're right. Based on the trial form, I had Russian Mint as well. Might be something to watch. Yeah, Russian Mint for me.
We've got the Stayers benchmark 70 over 2,400 metres, race 2. I couldn't find anything really tricky here outside of market order. I just had them 4 from 5. Gay's horse is going to be on the pace there, Philo Star. And prove hard to get past, but End State Squad flashed home at last time. So I've got them in market order. Not a lot to add. Probably won't be betting. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I stuck with Philo Star. I think it'll be super hard to beat. It'll lead and prove really hard to run down. So I'm going to stick with Philo Star here. I think the extra distance suits.
Race 3 is the benchmark 64, where we spend a lot of the rest of the day in 64 land. 1,300 metres. What have you made of this one?
Yeah, look, this is a pretty open race here, but I've gone for Solstice from the Hay stable. First up, ran really nicely at Bendigo, sat just off the pace and wore him down and ran home okay. So I thought that was pretty good form after coming over from New Zealand, where it had showed some decent form. I think the 1,300 metres suits, gets a nice draw here. I think it can be hard to beat at good odds.
I was with Miss. Well, I've got a concern here. I wanted to find Miss Middle Park on top for Jamie Carr. Drawn to push forward. Did some okay stuff last prep. Drawn to push forward here. Concerned it's going to, as Jamie Carr team seems to do a lot, sit outside lead, in which case it'd probably get beat. But if it doesn't and finds a nice spot, I think it'd be very hard to beat from Blistering, which actually wasn't a bad run, chasing Comica at Caulfield a few weeks back. Held on quite well on the pace there. And I think that back to 64 grade fits in really well here. So the other two I was looking at in race 3. Race 4 is another 64 over the 1,000. Any thoughts on this one? Yeah, on mute again. So I need to get the alarm ready.
This is a really interesting race, this one. Plenty of chances here. I kind of got it down to 2. I liked Superfeet resuming here. I think its trial form is pretty good for this and gets the 3 kilo claim. So I think it'll be hard to beat. And one at a bit of value, nearly 20s, Tinge from the Cummings stable. Won nicely last start, has Oliver aboard. Now it's broke its maiden status. It was pretty good at Cranbourne. It could go on with it.
Yeah, that's definitely one to throw in actually, Tinge. But I had Burham on top, sat 3 wide outside lead on debut there. Comes here as gate 15 a concern. I'm hoping goes forward or gets running line. Meach goes on, but I thought it was very brave, and I think that I think can progress off that. And Super Thief, you've covered off some nice trials saved from Warrnambool last week to come here. And I think that form fits in well. I think this is a good race. I think there'll be some form to come out of this going through the next few weeks into winter down at Sandown. Benchmark 70 is up next again over the 1,000. Where I do like the favourite Stay in Touch is trialled up again really well for this. Is has been very brave throughout its whole career and put in some impressive performances, albeit in some lower grade stuff. I think comes here, slight claim helps and will run well from Imperial Hilton, who resumed with a win at this track last prep and looks ready to go again here. What have you done?
I had the same, but super scared of Imperial Hilton. But Stay in Touch, I think, is just flying at the moment. 2 kilo claim gets in nicely, and it just winning form is good form. But yeah, very scared of Imperial Hilton first up.
Race 6, benchmark 64 over the 1,800 metres. Tricky times here. What have you done?
Yeah, really tricky race here. I've gone for Oceana Blue.
Yep.
Just the 16 gate just really worries me. Hopefully,
I'm
there's a
hoping
couple of
by this time
scratchings.
it's okay as well.
Yeah, really liked its first win. It flew home. Was a great run, and then was put out and now freshened up to come back for this. So I think this might have a bit of ability, and I think it can run really well. And I also had a watch on Sigourney, just from the inside. Could get a nice run as well.
And stable flying Sigourney as well. I've got Oceana Blue on top for all the reasons you've said. I'm hoping we can trust Hillside by now. We'll be back and wide, but if we can run on, I think we'll give you a nice sight. But we'll know the track pattern well and truly by now, and can make a judgment accordingly there. Race 7 is 1,800 meter benchmark 70, where we know acceleration pretty well. Comes here off a win, albeit a small one. I think is still a horse to beat, but don't know whether I really want to trust it necessarily. But will be the horse to beat. I think one at odds I'll have something on is Larrikin, often who's going well. Last few runs have been quite impressive. Down in weights with a claim and his 20s, so that might be the other one for me here. If we're running on, can be the sweeper of the afternoon, Beaver. And he's muted again.
Sorry, mate. I'm going for Eaglemont from the Mar Hughes stable. I think it can run well. It comes back in grade now from a 78 to a 70. I think the back in a couple of 100 meters certainly suits it. I think it's at peak fitness. Jai McNeil's flying on at the moment. I think it can run really well and could be the knockout chance.
And we wrap up the day with a benchmark 78 over the 1,400 meters. And before you mute yourself, do you want to give us your tips here?
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm going for the favourite Visinari. It's my best bet of the day. Great first up, led all the way, killed them, and I expect it to do the same here.
Not much to add. I agree. It's my best of the day. And if I'm going to throw an extra one, the quaddie, I'll forgive Black Bolt's last start. And that might be the value angle from the race. But that's our run through Sandown Hillside. You got a best and value.
Yeah, my best is race 8, number 10, Visinari. And my value bet comes up in race 3, number 6, Solstice.
Very good. I am with Visinari as well, and I'll make my value bet. Tough to split, but I think, look, I'll make it Super Thief in the 1,000 meters race 4. And a couple I mentioned outside the market will run well. I think Larrikin and Black Bolt might run a place in the last as well. But that's a run through Sandown Hillside. Do you think for us up north?
Mate, I've only got 2 up north for us.
Yeah.
Kept
Where
it
are we?
pretty light on there.
Sunshine Coast.
Sunshine Coast has moved from Gold Coast, I think.
Yeah.
So I've got race 5, number 1, Never Paid, resuming. Should be hard to beat. And then I've got race 8, number 5, Imposing Bow as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Just looking, that would have been an interesting meeting up there. Had the weather held up all right. Just having a quick flick through. But that wraps up. Show us your tips. Good job, Beaver. Get some rest.
Thank you, mate.
Go and get some rest, plenty of fluids, and be good to go for Doomben this week. Good punting tomorrow, guys. We'll be back to look at the Doomben 10,000, the SA Derby, I should say, and some good racing from either Scone or Caulfield. I think the Andrew Ramsden's on as well. So we'll get through some of it. We'll work it out, find a winner or two. Good luck, everyone heading up north to Magic Round as well, but we'll talk before then. Catch you soon, guys.